Hello, dear friends. Welcome to the Asian Center for Creative Theology. My name is Dr. Chris Kang, and I'd like to welcome you to join with me in this series called the Contemplative Lab Sessions uh, on World Scripture. Today, I'd like to share with you not a scriptural text, but rather a devotional song. A song that I like very much and which expresses a devotional, contemplative sentiment that is quite unique. This song is composed by a modern spiritual master from India. He is a great tantric teacher, tantric spiritual master, who taught yoga and tantra freely to people from everywhere. And his name is Sri Sri Anandamurti, and he composed this song sometime in the 80s. Now, this song belongs to a collection of 5,000 over spiritual songs called Prabhat Samgita. And I like this particular one very much because it expresses for me a sense of the divine that eludes our conceptual grasping. It's a sense of the divine that reveals himself to us, to our consciousness, rather than through our self-effort at trying to comprehend what is essentially beyond our cognition. Our cognition meaning our ideational, our thought processes. Because thought is limited, but consciousness is beyond thought. Although we can say consciousness is the very source, the very ground of all our thoughts, emotions, sensations, and perceptions. However, in order to know consciousness, thought has to be dissolved back into its very source, which is consciousness, so that consciousness knows itself. But even when we have recognized our true nature as pure awareness and pure knowing, that does not mean automatically that we have realized God. Many people speak about this infinite pure consciousness as God, the Creator, God, that is the divine, the ultimate truth. And we may even go so far as to say that as we identify fully with this infinite, boundless consciousness, we might then say, I am God. However, the experience of infinite consciousness, while it is real, does not automatically imply that that consciousness is God, nor does it automatically imply that I am God. To speak of I am God is a designation. It is an imputation. It is a mental label that we give to an experience, namely the experience of infinity. But the label, the designation, the imputation does not necessarily make it so. So what we have here, in my view, is that as we rest deeply in our own being, in that field of pure, transparent, empty awareness, that we might call an enlightened awareness, that is not the end. For beyond the end, beyond that so-called end, is something, or rather someone else. Divine, the absolute, God, can reveal himself to us in that stillness, in that silence. And our hidden margins of consciousness become revealed. We realize then, through the rupture, through the disruption of our infinite awareness by God, that there is indeed someone beyond. And we cannot realize him through our efforts, through our merit, and through our accomplishment alone. We can only realize him, if we can speak of realizing, through God himself revealing who he is to us. In other words, only through the self-revelation of the divine are we able to grasp, in whatever way, the presence and the reality of God. So this song that I want to share speaks about just such a intimacy and communion between ourselves and God, who breaks into our reality almost as if unknown, like an unknown traveler, someone that we can't quite recognize, like a stranger, and yet somehow so dear, so close, so familiar in some way. And this is the paradox of that loving devotional relationship between the person, ourselves, and God. So God in this song is the unknown traveler who comes into our horizons and our reality to reveal what we do not know, because we don't know what we don't know. And we can only know what we don't know when he that is beyond the margins of our knowledge breaks into our reality. And when that happens, the possibility of intimacy, of communion, of a dance, of a mutuality of self-giving love is realized. A self-giving, outpouring love between the lover and the beloved. We as the lover, God as the beloved, God as the lover, and we as the beloved. We are not two, not separate, not inherently existing in a dualistic, separative way. And yet, we are not one, undifferentiated. We are two and not two. We are one and yet not one. And in that paradoxical mutuality, intimacy, and communion, we find the expression of sweetness, of devotional surrender, unlike anything we have ever experienced before. So this song expresses that sweetness, that devotional surrender, that beauty, that joy, very exquisitely. And I'd like to share that now with you. I will read the lyrics of that song in English, and then I will sing it in its original language of Bengali. So I'd like to invite every one of you to join me meditatively, listening to these words, allowing the words to resonate in your heart, and also to tune in to the melody, to the song, and just be open to the infusion of sweetness and bliss in your very being. This song is entitled Ajana Pathik, namely Unknown Traveler. And it goes like this. O unknown traveler, please wait a moment. I wish to garland you with the fragrance of flowers. With smiles and love, I have decorated this garland. I'm singing songs for you. I'm trying to understand the rhythm and melody of your music. My restless, complex mind wants to go to your loving, sweet vibrations. I dance in rhythm to attract you. In the changing world, flowing the river of nectar. I don't want to take anything. I only want to give. Just love me and make me full of life. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Tomai Paraboma. Tomai Paraboma. Kusuma porage, smito anurage. Kusuma porage, smito anurage. Sajaye enichidala. Sajaye enichidala. Tomai parabomala. Tomai parabomala. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Tomai parabomala. Tomai parabomala. Gange chaliachi toma retushite surelae sadiachi tavo sangite. Gange chaliachi toma retushite surelae sadiachi tavo sangite. Priti sambite modumokachite. Priti sambite modumokachite. Mondritam manumikala. Mondritam manumikala. Tomai parambumala. Tomai parambumala. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Tomai parambumala. Tomai parambumala. Chande chande nachi tomare barite. Uchalanande sudara sarite. Chande chande nachi tomare barite. Uchalanande sudara sarite. Chaina ki chunite chai sudurite. Chaina ki chunite chai sururite. Balobasa paranodala. Balobasa paranodala. Tomai parambumala. Tomai parambumala. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Ajana Pathik Tamogokani. Tomai parambumala. Tomai parambumala. So there you have it. Ajana Pathik, the unknown traveler, the divine himself, who enters our broken world, who enters our broken lives, who enters even into our field of infinite consciousness that we think we are, that we think is the final stand. But beyond the hidden margins of consciousness, lies the Supreme, the Divine, the Lord. And His name, we call Him our beloved. We call Him as the one who saves. For only He, in the triune communion of love, only He is the one who can disrupt our infinite reality and bring us truly home, to heal the fracture between humanity and the divine. So this beautiful song expresses the sweetness, the joy, the intimacy, and the self-giving love and surrender that characterizes that relationship of mutuality and love between this nominally existing self and the divine. That is not one, not two, non-dualistic, non-separative, and yet not undifferentiated oneness. It is a mystery, and yet it is an illumination. So I hope that through this song we can get to taste a little bit of what I've been talking about. This communion that is not easily grasped by our conceptual categories. So through this song and through the energy and the vibration of the song, we may come to understand this in a way that is deeper and beyond our intellectuality. So thank you all for your attention and for participating in this session on World Scripture. I wish you well in this year of the Ox, the first day of Chinese New Year. Be well, be whole, be blessed. Shalom. Namaskar. Om Shanti.